I'm going to break one of football's golden rules today. Defenders should never be the stars. Football is about goals. It's about goal scorers, not defenders. Right, Michael? Well, you started as a forward, didn't you?
I did start as a forward, so
therefore
yeah.
You understand what I'm talking about and totally agree with me.
I agree with you to a certain extent. Yeah. We need to give a little bit of love to centre-backs.
Welcome to Match of the Day, Top 10. Our subject this week, as you may have already worked out, is central defenders, centre-halves. We've reluctantly agreed to talk about the game's bad guys. Alan Shearer, you've been kicked a bit, haven't you?
Oh.
Hey? Mind you dished a bit out
dished
as well.
a bit. Only as good as I got, Gary, as we've said before. I only reacted when people used to kick me or elbow me, and that was all.
Or headbutt your feet.
Or headbutt my feet, yeah.
You've seen it.
He always has that little smirk, doesn't he? He gets a little bit embarrassed when you mention that.
Sort of changed over the years, though, hasn't it? When I first started out to when I ended up, it was slowly but surely over the years, eventually taking the tackle away.
Did you enjoy rattling a strike?
I used to love it. I used to just love giving it. I got more, I don't know, satisfaction out of giving someone a good tackle.
And scoring a goal.
I did. Or clearing one off the line. Way more satisfaction.
Really?
Because it's like I owned you. You know, the strikers always... The only problem with strikers, though, is they could have an absolute torrid game. And then they could change it by scoring a winning goal or just a goal.
Just a goal.
Just a goal, but yeah, but...
Goals that matter.
Yeah, but it's a tapping. I'd score 15 goals in Man City's squad nowadays. Just hang at the back post and just tap it in.
Well, to be honest, with Man City, I think I could lie down on the 6-yard box and score half a dozen a season at my age. But, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, but come on. Anyway, we are talking centre-halves today.
Yep.
Have your say at home on Twitter, of course. Just use the hashtag MOTDTop10. And this week it's centre-halves. We've been given a list of 10 by whoever it is that gives us these lists. And there are one or two omissions that we'll perhaps come to first. But let me read the list out. We've got Gary Pallister, Tony Adams, John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Vincent Kompany, Virgil van Dijk, Nemanja Vidic, Ricardo Carvalho, Jaap Stam, Marcel Desailly. Now, that is a hell of a crop of central defenders. Interesting omissions here. No Jamie Carragher, no Sol Campbell, and no Ledley King. Just 3 off the top of my head. It's off the top of my head, which I'd written down just before. So, yeah, omissions first. Would you any players you would have in your top 10 rather than the top 10 that we've been given?
No, I'd like to mention Colin Hendry. When we won the league at Blackburn, he was phenomenal.
You win the league?
Just once. He definitely deserves a mention. But looking at the list, I think the list's...
it's very good. It's a powerful.
Roundabout right. I mean, there's some huge players in there.
Yeah. Sol Campbell, I thought.
I would have got Sol Campbell just in the top 10 or a Jamie Carragher for what he did for Liverpool.
You're working with him.
I've got to keep him happy, haven't I?
Yeah, exactly.
Ledley King, if he would have played a little bit more, he definitely would have been in the top 10. He had probably as good as ability as anyone on that list in terms of reading the game.
Therefore, who's slightly fortuitous to stay in?
I'd say Marcel Desailly, even though he was a great... Hold on, hear me out.
Yeah, we both went at the same time then.
Hold on now, boys. Only because he won an FA Cup at Chelsea.
The World Cup.
Yes, but we're talking... This is Premier League. So all round, if he had his whole career... He may be,
well, yeah,
but in the Premier League, okay. we're talking.
Is he number 10 then?
He's number 10.
As we know you're number 10, let's give us the rest of them.
Okay, so number 9 is Carvalho.
God, Carvalho. Yep.
And then we've gone Pallister, number 8.
Pally.
Yapstam, number 7.
Yep.
And Vidic, number 6.
Whoa. I bet you're biased against Man United.
No, it's not.
Let's go back to Marcel Desailly, who he did win a World Cup. Did you play against him, Mark?
I did.
Must have done, yeah. So did I.
Against him a few times. I always remember having the conversations because of him and Frank Leboeuf were the partnership, weren't they?
That's right.
And he said to me one day, why do you never come and stand on me? I said, well, because why would I come and stand on you when I can go and stand on Frank Leboeuf? he was much better than
he'd like that,
Mark.
He'd noticed as well, hadn't he?
But I reminded him when he said that, when I launched one in from 30 yards and I turned him at St James's Park. But in terms of what you needed as a defender, but I understand what you're saying in terms of the Premier League. Totally get that. I understand that.
I suppose that's it.
It's funny you've got with your. I've done exactly the same 5, but in slightly different order.
10 to 6, you mean?
6,
Oh, well, you might as well give me it then,
Order,
because otherwise we're wasting time.
I've gone Carvalho 10, Gary Pallister 9, Yapstam 8, Marcel Desailly 7, and Vidic 6.
I wonder if that's ever happened before in Match of the Day top 10 history, that we've got the same 10 to 6, albeit in different orders. How exciting is this moment?
That's what you get with me on the show, isn't it?
Yes. You just obviously, Alan's just told, no, this is what you're doing. But it's, we're agreeing on central defenders. Carvalho, brilliant player, alongside John Terry, of course, who's clearly in your top 5s, as he should be. But he was kind of small for a central defender, isn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Relatively. He wasn't the giant, was he?
But
he was quick and he was a good footballer.
Put a crunch and tackle in. And I think it's important also that there's a lot of these that you would think of the other player alongside them. I mean, we haven't mentioned, when we mentioned Pallister, we should mention Bruce.
Steve Bruce could possibly have been in there.
When you mention Terry, obviously you've got Carvalho.
But it was, I don't think Carvalho, I don't know, for me looking at it, he wasn't that great on the... We have these perceptions, don't we, of what a player should look like. Because Rio Ferdinand was so elegant on the eye. Whereas Carvalho, he wasn't. But if you actually do, I think he won 3 Premier Leagues at Chelsea. He's a top player, but sometimes our eyes can play...
in the role of a centre-half.
Yeah, it has changed in a way. I don't think for the better. I think for the worse.
Why?
Because too many defenders are getting caught out now. They're not being coached how to defend.
It's not the biggest shift, perhaps, that you now have to play out from your own box.
It can be, but when I see some of the things that Man City are doing now, it's great because they're playing amazing football, but if they come up against a team who are on it offensively,
you think?
They'll be caught out.
You think even now with Diaz there's been a big difference? So how good do you think he can be?
Diaz is...
He looks great. I actually voted for him because I remember the football writers. It was hard, but I went Diaz. I just think he's made... I think the reason is because I think he's been the most significant difference between the City of last season and this season, in the sense they conceded so many. And suddenly with him in there, and Laporte, Stones have kind of both played with him, but he's been the ever-present The Rock.
He's a proper defender. So when all these people are talking about, you've got to get the ball, like... No, we see what's...
had a thought, like...
What's the thought?
Why the hell have I voted for a defender?
I know, yeah.
What have I done?
I don't know what you've done.
Right,
okay. Gary Pallister.
Yeah, I mean...
Played with him?
Yeah, played with him with England.
Yeah,
played against him many a time.
Lovely lad.
Yeah, lovely guy. Had some great battles with him. He kicked me, I kicked him.
He was another central defender that was very comfortable with the football.
Yeah, he could play out with the same as the rest of these guys could. Played in an unbelievable team as well, didn't he, at Man United? Him and Steve Bruce were a great partnership and could do most. Yeah, he could do everything.
Yeah.
I went to Steve Bruce's son's house, and he was actually showing me videos of them together, and he was showing me the tackles that they could get away with back then, and he was saying the partnership they had was just ridiculous. Obviously, he's
They
going to be
were
biased because
really good.
he's
Ask you a
dad.
question, because obviously you know him well. Would you have had Steve Bruce in ahead of Gary Pallister?
Probably not. No, I mean,
No?
yeah. I mean, he was
different
reliable,
players.
safe. You knew what you were going to get with them. I mean, he never got England recognition either, did he?
No.
Brucey. I mean,
No.
Gary was
Yeah.
always ahead of him in that. But with reliability, and Brucey could score goals as well.
Yeah.
Scored loads. Didn't
That's why I ask you.
Yeah. So, yeah, probably not. I mean, but you knew what you're going to get.
Okay. You both got you got the same, different order, different five.
Yeah.
But Jaap Stam, another one that would have played with Rio.
Yeah, played with Rio. He was tough as well, wasn't he? Formed a good partnership with him. He was quick. I mean, he was a big set, wasn't he? Big lad, but he was still quick, wasn't he?
He was good.
Yeah.
How many titles did he win at Man United? 3, was it? 3 titles?
Yeah.
In, 79 appearances or something like that? That's amazing.
Right, top fives, please. God, there's some proper players in this top five. Micah. Fifth.
Van Dijk.
Oh, no, that's... Whoa, really?
Been biased here, Vincent.
No.
5. Yeah?
Before Sir Vincent Kompany.
Yeah, he had him in. He had Vincent in 5. Then he thought, I'm going to change it around. You'd have, hadn't you? I bet you have. Look at his numbers.
I thought we'd be higher than that.
Sir Vincent. Tony Adams.
Tony Adams at
Number 3.
Yeah.
So this is where it gets a real sticky for
hang
me.
on, who we got left? Oh, Rio Ferdinand, John Terry obviously played together in England. We're a great
Played
partnership.
them both. I was with JT at Villa as well. I couldn't pick between the two. Obviously, I will, but I want to break it down for you.
Break it down.
They're both defensively as good as each other. John Terry is just as good at playing at the back as Rio.
Brilliant
with his
foot.
left foot. He was ridiculous. But I have to just give it to John Terry because of his goal-scoring record. That's the only
You see,
only
as I
thing.
remind you at the start of this show, it's ultimately all about scoring goals.
We got there in the end. We got there in the end.
That's what it boils down to. So, okay, Rio Ferdinand.
You got me.
2.
Goal scorer and centre half.
John Terry is your number 1. Come on, Alan.
I had Vincent Kompany 5.
Vincent, 5.
Virgil van Dijk 4.
Similar.
Rio Ferdinand 3.
Ooh.
John Terry 2.
Oh,
Tony Adams.
Tony Adams.
Tony Adams.
Only because of my experience
Yeah, well, that's fair
of
enough.
playing against him.
All right, we'll come to your top ones. Let's start first with the top 5. So you both got Kompany and Van Dijk 4 and 5. Vincent Kompany. I mean, someone you know obviously very well. You've played with him. Sorry, Sir. I didn't know they had a knighthood system in Belgium. We should give him an honorary one, though. Actually, we've worked with him as well. As he's smart, intelligent guy, particularly for a centre half. I mean, crikey.
When he first came, he came for £6 million.
Yeah.
From Hamburg.
Mark Hughes signed him, didn't he?
Yes. We played there pre-season, and he played as a number 10. He had number 10 for Hamburg.
See, he came as a
Yeah,
midfielder.
he was doing tricks and all that.
Was he?
Yeah, he had step-overs and, like, great feet and that sort of thing. We played him pre-season, and we signed him. But he had a really bad injury, Achilles injury, before. So we managed to get him for £6 million. He come as a midfielder.
Could you tell straight away?
He went to centre-back. And when he went to centre-back, I was like, wow.
Really?
It's the best. Apart from that experience with Rio when I went to England, it's the best I've ever seen.
Is he like as a bloke in the dressing room and stuff? Is
he
he
was
what
a
we
leader?
think?
Yeah.
He's a real leader. He can be selfish at times.
In what way?
In terms of, I won't say his way or no way, but he wants things...
Perfectionist?
Yes, that's the right word. He's a perfectionist. And if you don't do things at his level, he takes it to heart.
Did you see that in him straight away when he came into the football club?
Yeah, he couldn't believe it because we was in shambles when we first come under Mark Hughes.
I remember him saying that, I quote somewhere that when they first came there, they didn't even have a coffee machine.
No.
So then the new owners in, and then we had a coffee machine. And that's when the success started. Not because of the coffee machine, probably more to do with David Silva.
Yeah.
But there must have been the transition between being the old Manchester City and the new Manchester City. It must have been extraordinary to live through.
So we loved it, the old Man City, because you could go out on a Saturday, get a result, and everyone's at the fools the next day. Do you know what I mean? And we were always good, great team spirit.
With David Silva.
Yeah. And then, like, it went on year by year, and it started getting a bit more professional, and, you know...
Oh, boring. Started winning things.
Well, you know, we're in the Premier League. What more do we need than that? We're not going to win the league, are we? So let's have a good time. And then, like, the money came in. Don't forget we had Thaksin Shinawatra, the first one. That was a takeover. Oh, so we started getting good players. No one remembers that, but we had Thaksin Shinawatra. So we had money then, but it turned out it wasn't as much as we all thought. So we had the new owners, Sheikh Mansour. He took the club to a next level, and Kompany was a major part of that. He just wanted to go over and beyond to make sure.
Can you have a laugh with him? Because he always comes over as like this leader, kind of with this presence.
I can make anyone laugh though, can't I? Because I'm just an idiot, aren't I? At times. So I just play the fool because, you know what I do? But I do it sometimes. But I do it sometimes to sort of like break the ice because he can be a little bit too serious at times, Kompany.
Yeah.
But he was doing it because he wanted to be the best. And I was just always a joker in the dressing room trying to lighten him up a bit.
Yeah. And which one have you had the best career?
Well, he's had the best career. I've got a career for 20, 30 years with the punditry, though, haven't I? So
I won't bank on it.
Keep talking like this, you won't have one.
brilliant.
Yeah, but no, Vincent, it's quite right in the top 5, Alan.
Yeah, he was. I think just his attitude.
Winner.
Yeah, he was a winner.
And again, may I say, scorer of vital goals and key moments in league-winning seasons, a winner against Manchester United.
And what he can bring to the football clubs, I think that tells you probably all you need to know
what,
about him.
The best thing about him is his mentality, though. Natural ability, he knew what he was doing, but...
It was a 7 or 8 out of 10 every week, wasn't it?
Exactly that,
you could rely on.
Like, I was supposed to be what Kompany was, basically. Oh. No, seriously.
It was your attitude of going to the pub every week, that's right.
But who's had a better life? Mentality was second to none. Second to none.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. It's interesting, though, isn't it? There's only one current player on that list, and that's Virgil van Dijk. He's the only modern central defender in our list of 10 that we've been given.
Because he could be the greatest.
Could well be.
That's what.
Yeah.
I think he could. Maybe a bit late, his age now, maybe, and he's had his injury, but instant impact. There's no question marks, is there? He can do absolutely everything. And I can't believe when he was at Celtic that Man City didn't take a little punt on him.
Oh, you just... Yeah.
I just imagine.
It's easy to say that now, isn't it? Because no one took a punt on it except for Southampton. None of the so-called big boys had a go at him. Then he did it, then it was at Southampton where, obviously... And I remember Liverpool signing. Everyone's going, how much? How much are they paying for him? They're all going mad. And then a year later, they're going, bargain.
Hindsight. I never heard you say once Man City should sign Van Dijk.
I wasn't a pundit back then, was I?
Good point.
He might have taken your place back then. That's the problem you had. I'm going to ask you a question here, Alan. If you could pick a player now to play central defender, would you go Virgil van Dijk or Tony Adams?
Yeah, probably in today's game, Virgil. Yeah.
So you got him at 4th and Adams at 1?
Well, only because of my experience. I never played against Virgil, did I? So certainly it would be a tough battle. I mean, he was a game changer for Liverpool, wasn't he? Him and the goalkeeper.
Unquestionably.
He took Liverpool to where they wanted to go.
He's been the player that missed so much this season.
I know we've spoken about the lack of fans and how it's affected, but they've also missed him, his leadership,
they can't really
his
play
pace,
the way they play without him, can they?
No, they play this pressing game where they can go and press, and they have the confidence in him that you can leave him 1v1. It's not a problem because if they want to knock it over the top, then he can turn and be as quick as whoever. It's no problem. Whereas they haven't got that without him, so they can't press, and maybe that's why we've seen them this year not press as much as they perhaps could and should, because they don't feel the confidence to do it because they haven't got him behind him.
Yeah. Agreed?
Totally agreed. I think Alan's hit the nail on the head. When you lose a player of that magnitude, he's always going. No, you nailed it, mate. That's why you lead pundit for the BBC.
Right. Rio Ferdinand, you've gone 3. Mike, you've got him at 2. Well, he had it all.
Yeah, Rio was top notch. When I went to the England camp, I was just 18. He was like anything I've never seen before in terms of how relaxed he was on the ball. He could see a pass. Everything was just easy for him. You know, like he was a Rolls Royce as well. So, did you see any weaknesses to his game? Because I couldn't see.
He didn't score many goals.
Yeah, maybe. I was. You know, again, when you get an England squad, you look up to these players.
He could do everything, couldn't he? He was good in the air.
As well, couldn't he? Yeah.
He was top draw, wasn't he?
Yeah,
top.
very good. Yeah.
He looked like a centre-half. He had that stature, didn't he? Great on the ball, could read it. You know what? He's good. He always used to speak to me as well, because don't forget, when I first came to England, I was playing right back, so I was playing his side, and he always used to talk to me, tell me when to go. You know, like for a senior pro, for England, when they talked you through the game, it's so much easier. No, stay, don't go, don't go.
I saw Gary Neville doing quite an interesting thing, talking about Trent Alexander, a right-back situation. He said that Rio Ferdinand always used to say to him, nothing comes down outside. Did you say that?
I've seen that. In terms of international football, it's a little bit different. Yeah. So in the Premier League, it's end-to-end. So you might get caught in 1v1 a lot. But in international football, everyone's sort of in their shape a little bit. The only one time was on my debut against Robin. He gave me a torrid time for the first 15 minutes. I didn't know how to deal with him. And he could have destroyed me on that. Luckily, I got back and I did all right.
Down the line.
I know, but he's just got everything. He's got everything. He twists you up anyway.
He's one of those players, you know where he wants to go, but you can't stop it.
You can't stop it.
Like Messi does it as well, doing that.
Exactly, just at the drop of the shoulder. But Rio...
He's a Rolls Royce of a centre-half.
Exactly that.
Elegant, bring the ball out, pace with it. Could start the moves, could stop the moves. So
intelligence as well.
Clever,
you can
read
see
the game.
In his punditry, he understands that he gets it. He understands his position and other positions as well. So it's not surprising that he's in the top 3. Who's the centre half you least enjoyed playing against?
Tony Adams, I think. He was the best.
Really?
He was the best.
I quite like playing against Tony Adams.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. I just
hear him coming.
I think in that era that we're on about, in terms of how aggressive he could be as a centre half. And he played in that back 4. That was just unbelievable. And had a great keeper behind him. He was an unbelievable leader, organiser, could tackle. And he was...
He could play as well.
He could play as well. He was tough, really, really tough. Yeah. So he was the best player, or best centre-half I played against. I'd come off with cut eyes, broken nose, cut lip. I'm sure he's done the same. But shook hands at the end of the game, had a pint in the players' lounge afterwards.
One of the players that I played against on that list, Tony Adams, Tottenham against Arsenal.
You said you liked playing against him. You didn't mind it, or did you?
No, I didn't mind it because they used to play a high line.
Right.
And my game was about spinning behind. So the more space behind the back 4 for me, the better. Mm-hmm. I mean, it didn't make it easy because, they just kick lumps out. Adams and Keown and Bold. I mean, Christ almighty.
Winterburn.
But you could hear them coming a little bit, and then you just get your feet off the ground. You know they're going to kick you. But that leaves us with John Terry, doesn't it? John Terry we've not talked about. He's first for you, Micah, and second for you, Alan. What a central defender and what a record.
His record is ridiculous. 41 goals he scored. That's why he just tipped it over the edge. I couldn't pick between him and Rio. If I was looking at a game, I would say I would go towards Rio because it looked more elegant. JT was always shown to us as just a leader, putting his head in that.
Yeah,
but actually,
he's
more than that. When you train with him and you see him and he's pinging diagonal with his left foot. I was doing this like a thing at Villa. I was just pinging balls. And I could ping the ball. I wasn't great, but I was good enough. And his left foot was better than my right foot. His weaker foot.
He's left-footed, though, was he?
No, he's right-footed. He's right-footed.
Was he right-footed? I don't know.
That tells you how good he was.
We're not sure which foot he was.
He always plays left. He always plays left side.
Yeah.
Because he likes the ball in there. But he's right-footed. Yeah. But he likes to ping with his left foot. It's ridiculous.
Well, we mentioned the only modern-day player in there, Van Dijk. The number of times we sit as pundits and look at his diagonal passes into Mane or Salah or whatever with those runs from inside. I mean, John Terry could do that with either foot, couldn't he? Yeah. No problem.
Well, reliably informed, you're right about him being right-footed. It's just my memory, I think. But he always seemed to be, because he played on the left side.
Because he always wanted to go left side. Because he plays with his left so much, everyone... And you might not know that if you're not trained. But I thought it was left-footed because he always used to do. But no, I asked him, he's right-footed, but he just prefers his body angles. The only thing, if he was being a little bit critical, maybe one-on-one... You know, whereas a winger's running, he always managed to get himself in the right position. He didn't want to be exposed to
his positional play was outstanding.
And it was so good, his positional play, because he just made sure he was in the right position. So that's why he was my number one, along with the goals. And he had 214 clean sheets.
Yeah.
Staggering numbers, staggering.
We had the top three, didn't we? Adams, Terry and Ferdinand.
Yeah, you agreed.
Different order.
You agreed. Well, you agreed top... In fact, your top five was different order, but different. But, yeah, your top three. I think what gives... I don't think I need to be judge and jury here, because I think you've got John Terry 1 and 2, whereas Adams was 1 and 3, and Rio Ferdinand was 2 and 3. So not much in it. 10... people not on Alan Shearer's Christmas card list. And as for defenders, well, who needs them anyway? That's it from us. Goodbye.